Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Eshleman. I'm a researcher who focuses on disability and inclusion and assistive and accessible technologies. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about why normal as a term isn't that neutral. So it sounds kind of harmless, but it really pretty quietly shapes everything from how classrooms are designed and curriculum to hiring policies to healthcare systems. That's the idea of normal. We hear the word all the time, right? Normal range, something that's normal behavior, someone who just wants to live a normal life, right? But what does normal mean? Um, there's a story that I really like that helps explain why normal might not be as useful or as neutral as we think. And it was told in the book called The End of Average. And it talks about how in the 1950s, the US Air Force was having a huge problem with pilots crashing their planes. But it wasn't because of like a human error or technical issues, but it was because the cockpits didn't fit. So they set out to fix it by designing a cockpit for the average pilot. Logical, right? Makes perfect sense. They measured thousands of pilots, arm length, leg length, torso length, foot size, height, weight, you name it. And then they designed the ideal cockpit to match the average across all of those traits. I bet you guessed where I'm going with this, right? When they looked at the actual data, not a single pilot in their entire sample had all of the average body measurements. So in that case, designing for the average didn't help, right? It excluded actually everybody. So that is what happens when we build for normal. We end up actually designing for no real person at all. So after that example, let's kind of zoom out. Think about how many systems and spaces are still designed around this idea of normal, right? A normal attention span, a normal learning style, a normal way to move or think or speak or feel. And when someone doesn't fit that invisible blueprint, they're often seen as the problem instead of the system or the norm that's been defined being the problem. So I think that that's why the idea of normal isn't just outdated, it's really limiting. And when it comes to disabled people, especially, it is downright harmful. Um, Most disabled people are not trying to become normal. We're trying to be included. We're trying to be seen and supported and valued as we are, not measured against some fictional average that, number one, we were never meant to match, and actually nobody matches, as illustrated by the story before. I am not aiming for normal. I'm aiming for access and for belonging and for systems that recognize real variation and not just in a way that tolerates variation, but that designs for it. Um, so the next time that you're catching yourself thinking about what's normal, which I still do all the time, I would love for you to try asking yourself, like, who decided that? Who decided what's normal in the way that I just said it? And who does it leave out? Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. In the next video, we will explore how our culture kind of defines independence and why some of the most empowering approaches to disability can actually center reciprocity and interdependence instead. And until then, please be thoughtful and be kind and keep making more room for more kinds of people. See you soon.